how much longer do you want to do this?
Get tattooed or fight?
Fight!
You know, I still want to do it. I mean, I guess like 2 or 3 years ago, when I asked that question, I'd say 2 or 3 years. So, but I still love it. I like to compete. You know, I don't like getting punched or necessarily punching. I just like the competition. There's nothing harder in the world. I mean, there's more. I mean, you gotta be honest. There's more dangerous things. I think boxing's more dangerous. Scuba diving is more dangerous. There's, you know, hang gliding. There's a million things that are more dangerous. But as far as like what it is to compete, you know, every martial art is legal. You know, every martial art technique is you know, legal. Like judo, jiu-jitsu, taekwondo, boxing, kickboxing, everything is legal in one thing. And you got really nothing. You got 4-ounce gloves and a mouthpiece and a cup. And you know, they close the cage door and it's just you and another guy, and you can do whatever you want. I mean, that's pretty intense. So I just, you know, I thought I would, you know, I was kind of at a point where I was kind of looking forward to retiring, but now I'm really not. Like, I mean, I guess the goal is to be
the champ.
You know, and it's to be the UFC title.
Right.
You know, and I want to do that at 205, and that's kind of the goal I set out for myself. And winning that title, that make me like want to stop. You know, in my mind right now, I think it would, but in reality, probably not. I mean, I thought after I won Abu Dhabi, man, I remember wrestling in high school.
How many times you won Abu Dhabi?
Twice. But I remember in high school trying to win state tournament. Like, that's my whole goal, and I didn't win state. And then I went to nationals a couple times in college. I wanted to be national champion. Didn't win. Didn't place. And then I wanted to make the, you know, Olympic team, or at least on the Olympic ladder, the top 6. Never made it. Like close every time, really close. And when I won Abu Dhabi, like, that's the world championship, not just like a national or state final.
Right. Invitation only.
Yeah, and like, so I'm like, I remember on the plane going home after it, I just completely like, oh, I'm the best in the world. Like, and then
Twice you said that.
the next day, you know, because it's such a long trip, when I was so tired, and we were driving home, I thought, so I was thinking on the plane, if I went down right now, my life would be over. I got the monkey off my back, I'm ready to go, you know. And then on the way home, I'm like, I'm totally unsatisfied. I was starting to think about another competition already. I think what happens is I'm going to do it until I'm not as good as I could be, you know what I mean?
So you want to drop down to light heavy. Your fight coming up on Saturday is a heavyweight.
Right.
You're fighting a guy 6'5". You know, so your next fight, you think you're going down that soon?
I think it'll be May.
But you fight more than, you're the most, I mean, there might be a couple other guys like Travis Fulton out there that are more active than you. A lot of people probably don't know who I'm talking about even. That guy's got hundreds of fights, but you're not far behind him. I mean, you got 50 fights, but you're really active. You did some pro boxing, had what, like 3 boxing. You're always competing. You're doing grappling tournaments and this and that. I mean, is it for you, is it about the competition, or this is how you're making your living by fighting so often? I mean,
well, I mean, it's a good way to make a living. It's not that, when you're fighting these kind of shows, it's not that lucrative, you know. When you get in the UFC and get that kind of sponsorship or get fight bonuses, that kind of stuff, it's, you know, better. But when you're fighting smaller shows, or, you know, maybe a big show for Canada or a big show for Europe, but it's not, money-wise, it's not big. Yeah, I mean, you can make a living, but it's, you're not rich. But the whole thing is about competition. But it's a curse, you know, because kind of really, like, no matter what you do, no matter how well you do, you're not satisfied. Like, you win, and it's like, okay, well, I got something at the end of the month, or I got something else, or this. You don't dwell on that. You don't like, yeah, that's awesome. But if you lose, it's devastating.
Right.
So it's almost like a no-win. You know, you win just to keep above water, keep your head above water from sinking, you know, and then, like, emotionally, I guess. And then when you lose, it's devastating. if you're a beginning guy, you're probably making, if you're not like, you know, someone coming up from the WE or something, if you're just a, you know, 10-0 or something like that, a good young prospect, you're gonna make 3-3 for your first fight.
3,000 to show up, and then another 3,000 if you win.
And
Right.
you're gonna fight it. You're gonna sign a 3-fight deal. You're just be 3-3, maybe 6-6, 9-9, something like that. Maybe
Right.
10-10 for us.
And that's actually high. 10 and 10 is actually, now you're talking about a higher echelon.
See, that's what I.
And they can cut you at any time. So you can win your first one, lose your second one, and they're like, nah, oh, they cut you. And you just made, maybe you made 6 your first one, and you just made $11,000 in UFC. And over a 6-month span, $11,000. UFC, and they cut you, and you just made $11,000 in half of a year.